Tyler,
I'm definitely not
Tyler,
trying to be
be
deceitful.
quiet and listen, please. Look at me. Like, I'm an intelligent woman. I'm 40 years old. You deal with legal stuff. Like, who are you kidding? Tyler.
Okay, we're going to listen to the rest of this clip in a moment. Let me just fill you in on what's going on in the case of missing Melodee Buzzard. So Melodee is still missing. She's 9 years old. She was last seen on a road trip with her mother somewhere between Colorado and Utah. So that's a long time. That's over 40 days that she's been missing. And her mother, Ashlee Buzzard, is not cooperating with the police. She's not telling anyone where she is. She's tearing down missing person flyers of her own daughter. She's apparently cutting out the face of her daughter and putting it in her home, collecting those pictures, you know. Okay, and there's moving boxes, and we know that there were rental vehicles that she changed license plates on, and she changed wigs, and it's all very, very concerning. Now, in the meantime, she was arrested on an unrelated charge of felony false imprisonment for supposedly holding a man captive in her house who was trying to help to find Melodee. So now the judge has decided, after a preliminary hearing, to dismiss all those charges. So Ashlee Buzzard no longer has to wear a GPS ankle monitor. She's completely free to go. Case dismissed. We're done with that.
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
So my question is, was that a strategy from the police to ask Tyler to go there? Did things escalate? Did he actually feel afraid or not? Did he insert himself in the case? And for what? Because some people said that, right? Some people have been angry with him from the start. I'm not angry. I feel like, what if he was just trying to help? What if he really was scared because he's known Ashlee since 2014 and maybe he's like, holy crap, she's changed so much. She lost so much weight. She's changed her entire appearance. She's wearing wigs. She's wearing lots of makeup. She's completely different. Maybe he was freaked out a little bit. Maybe she did change her tone and things. But let's hear what happened in that courtroom on November 20th of 2025 that led to the charges being dismissed. And they were dismissed just after that clip was played. And I'm going to play the rest of that for you right after this. My name is Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime. I hope you'll consider subscribing if you are new here. And also, I hope that you'll find the playlist. The link is in the description box. It's also in the pinned comment for you, so it's easy to find because we've done lots of deep dives on this case. And the biggest concern, and everybody's focus should be, where's Melodee? The missing 9-year-old? Yeah, so this is all, I would hope, not drama. I don't know what to make of this exactly. It's very sad and disappointing because we know we're closer to finding Melodee, right? Thankfully, the FBI is on the case, the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office is on the case, and multiple law enforcement agencies, and I believe they're trying their best to find Melodee. Okay, so Santa Barbara County Superior Court Judge Stephen Dunkel on Thursday dismissed a felony false imprisonment charge against Ashlee Buzzard, ruling after a 3-hour preliminary hearing that the prosecution failed to show probable cause that Buzzard confined alleged victim Tyler Brewer through violence or menace. I find that there's not probable cause to hold her to answer. There's insufficient evidence that this was any confinement or restraint effectuated by violence or menace. The ruling came after Senior Deputy District Attorney Jordan Lockie called Brewer, a freelance paralegal and legal document assistant, and Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Detective Thomas Brownlee as the only witnesses. Brewer testified that he visited Buzzard's Vandenberg Village home multiple times between November 1st and 6th, apparently 5 times, including the night of the alleged incident, and was the first to initiate contact via email after learning of the search for her missing daughter. Brewer and Buzzard shared a mutual friend, having met through her approximately a decade ago. On the night of the incident, he said that Buzzard locked multiple deadbolts after letting him in, described her as very tense, agitated, and hostile, and noted a box cutter on a TV tray within her reach in a back room. He said he felt unable to leave for a period of time. See, now the problem is that he initially said, he made statements on Facebook, right? His Facebook account seems to have now been deactivated, which I would understand based on the media storm right now, right? Everybody looking at him like, what are you doing, bro? Why did you say a box cutter was produced? When really you just glanced around the room and noticed, ooh, there's a box cutter there on a TV tray. That's very different, right? Anyway, so a portion of the 1 hour, 16-minute audio recording made by Buzzard. So apparently she had 2 phones in her bag, and then the one phone was being used to make this recording. Now, my question is, oh, you got a burner phone? Are you talking to anyone? I mean, the FBI's on it. I'm sure they got search warrants for all her electronic devices. And I would hope that their silence doesn't mean that they're not finding anything, whether it's Google searches or whatever it is, okay? It could take time. There could be a lot of data on there. But I do have a concern. What if they don't find any evidence of her talking to anyone? Ooh, the outcome then for Melodee. I so worry about Melodee. Like, is she alive? Is she out there? If Ashlee has just dropped off with a friend because she's so scared of Melodee's father's side of the family getting custody of her because Ashlee's already lost custody of another daughter in the past. Okay, if that's her fear and she's doing her level best to protect Melodee and to never lose her again, does that mean she dropped off with a friend? Does it mean she killed her? Because it could be, if I can't have you, nobody else can. That's what I'm afraid of, right? The worst case scenario. Or, I know some people speculate, is this like human trafficking? Did she sell her? What happened? We don't know. Nobody knows what happened to Melodee. So she was last seen on October 9th of 2025. So, a 1 hour, 16-minute audio recording. Interesting. So they have the whole thing, but they only played 6 minutes, and News Nation got a copy of just the last 3 minutes. So I don't know why there's not 6 minutes, or maybe the first 3 minutes is irrelevant. Maybe there's not much going on there. But we're going to listen to those last 3 minutes, okay? And then I want to hear what your comments are about it, because it's kind of interesting. Okay, so he says that this Hebrew testified the recording was made without his consent. Now, some people say, well, you're a guy, you're in her house, she doesn't know what you're up to. She might struggle, yeah, with her mental health, with paranoia. She might think you're working with the police, you're out to get her, you're out to get Melodee, what is going on? Of course she's going to record your ass. But anyway, he did say it was without his consent. So one could argue that way. Of course, it's her right. She's got lots of legal rights. I'm worried as a human being about where's Melodee. So was she just doing that, you know, out of an abundance of caution? Maybe it did help. Clearly, the charges got dismissed. Do you know what I mean? So maybe she's like, thankfully, I made that recording. Because look now, the judge dismissed the charges against me. Ooh, that's quite scary to think of that she did the right thing. Or was it a very calculated move that she was doing? I don't know. And why only produce it now? Maybe there's a time and a place, like this is the time that they could produce that, but damn. She spent 5 days in jail. She was on an ankle monitor, and all this time, she is so silent. My goodness. So, okay. Detective Brownlee testified that the played segment showed Buzzard's tone changing to crying, but contained no raised voices, thuds, struggles, or cries for help. Under cross-examination by defense attorney Adrian Galvin, Brewer acknowledged inconsistencies between his initial statements to Detective Brownlee immediately after the incident and his testimony Thursday. He acknowledged that Buzzard never displayed the box cutter blade, did not clench her fist. Bro, you literally said in your own statement that she clenched her fist and was punching into the air. I was trying to visualize it, okay? Why are you saying that now? So then why did you say it? I don't know. There's a few reasons one could answer that question. Why would he say that? Why would he embellish what happened? Oh, because the police needed something to arrest her for, to apply pressure to try to get her to talk? I don't know. Is it that? Or did he just insert himself into the case? Who knows? And then he says, and she never verbally threatened him. Detective Brownlee confirmed that Brewer's initial description of the incident to him on November 6th did not match Brewer's testimony on Thursday on several key points, including the duration of the alleged confinement and Buzzard's demeanor. In closing argument, Lockie contended that the totality of circumstances, multiple locked doors, the nearby box cutter, and Brewer's fear amounted to menace, citing People v. Newman to argue that the victim's fear could indicate an implied threat. Galvin countered that Brewer's testimony was internally contradictory, inherently improbable, and demonstrably unreliable, and that the recording showed no violence, menace, or threat. Dunkel, the judge, sided with the defense, noting the recording contained nothing that amounts to a threat, and that locking the door and blocking goes, at least it seems, to restrain or confinement rather than menace. So maybe she did restrain or confine him. Maybe it was awkward. Maybe he's a polite guy. Maybe he felt scared, okay, of her, just generally feeling like so uncomfortable with the whole situation, especially if he had been asked to talk to her or help. Who knows? So it doesn't mean that things didn't happen, but it does sound like it was a little bit exaggerated, and the judge then said, look, man, he's going to dismiss all these charges. So the judge added that simply finishing a conversation was not menace, even if it contributed to restraint. Dunkel discharged Buzzard, terminated her pretrial supervision and GPS monitoring, and dismissed the complaint. Now, I do want to add a side note that this judge also said that she's not a flight risk, which is why she was out and about on an ankle monitor in the first place. She was not a flight risk. And I'm like, ooh, man, I disagree with that. I think she is like textbook flight risk. If you think of the multiple rental vehicles, apparently, initially it was reported she had her own vehicle and she rented a vehicle. No, there's 2 vehicles involved, but they both were rented. And she apparently put one of the rental cars in the garage while taking another rental car somewhere. Nobody knows exactly where. And then coming back, and then the car was damaged. And I thought it was for financial reasons, that she couldn't rent more vehicles when she tried. Apparently it's because she totaled that other car. They decided, ooh, this is like, you're part of a high profile case now, you're renting vehicles, you're changing license plates, lady. We don't know what you're doing, we're not going to rent you our vehicles. I don't know. Anyway, so the judge decided she's not a flight risk. That's what I was trying to say. Back to my train of thought. Oh, we got wigs changing license plates on a rental car. We've got Ashlee going from California all the way to Nebraska, maybe passing through Kansas, coming back to California within a 4-day period. She's not a flight risk. You better be watching her. I'm sure the FBI is. I'm sure the police are watching her every move, especially now. But I do think social media probably needs to, especially people that are around her house. I don't know. If I was a neighbor, man, I'm going to be watching her. But maybe if the FBI could ask everybody to just back off and let her do her thing. We need to watch what she's going to do next. That could be interesting. Of course, with added pressure, it's also interesting to see how someone would behave and what they do next. I just wonder if she's not going to pack up all her boxes and go somewhere. And where's she going? And can they follow her? Will they follow her? Will they monitor her? Where the heck is Melodee? That's the concern. Okay, are you ready now to listen to that recording? Let's listen to it together. This recording was played in court. Okay, it is part of an exhibit. They played 6 minutes of it, and this clip is 3 minutes and 12 seconds that News Nation shared. The recording happened on November 6th of 2025, so that must have been the last time that Tyler was there at her house. He'd been there 5 times. He initiated a conversation with her via email, and apparently there were over 300 text messages sent between the two before he went there. So he's gone there 5 times. I want to know what happened the other 5 times. What the heck did she tell him? Because one of the stories that he says is that she told him that she dropped Melodee off somewhere in Utah with a friend. He even said that she told him who she dropped Melodee off with. But he can't say, obviously, to the media because he's told the police and it's to protect the investigation. But he was worried about the accuracy of her statements. He was saying, she said that, but he's not so sure about it. He doesn't trust what she's saying at all. And I must say, I don't trust what she's saying at all either. I'm extremely worried about Melodee. I'm extremely worried about the worst case scenario. One of the PIs, there's a couple of PIs on the case, right, said that he has found, I want to say loosely evidence, I don't know, because the FBI and obviously the police are not saying this, but he's saying he's found evidence that Melodee made it made it to California. And that Ashlee had apparently passed by the cemetery where Melodee's father is buried. So all of that's a little eerie for me. Also because somebody left a comment on one of my previous videos in this case and said, mark my words, this child is closer to home than everyone thinks. She's probably right under everyone's nose, and it's probably the worst case scenario. And I'm like, oh man, I really hope not. It's starting to look a little bit like it. you know? Especially if she got 2 rental cars. You put the one rental car, you come home alone, you pull their car into the garage, you get another car, you're loading things into it, you disappear somewhere for a few hours, you come back, then there's damage to the car. I don't know. It's all just very weird. Okay, so sorry, I went off track. We want to play the recording, right? I can hear you. Someone's saying, just play the recording, Grizzly. I'm going to play it now. Now, one more thing. Ashlee's own mother said that Ashlee, at a very young age, was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She shared that with the media. I'm not sharing anything I'm not supposed to be sharing. I'm saying that for context because she's saying that to Tyler. She's saying, you must have bipolar or something. It's so weird how she's like projecting in the things she's saying. So pay attention to what she's saying and let's discuss it afterwards.
And I can't trust you when you're lying. You're flat out lying. You're a really good liar. Like, Tyler. Tyler.
I'm definitely not
Tyler,
trying to be deceitful.
Be quiet and listen, please. Look at me. Like, I'm an intelligent woman. I'm 40 years old. You deal with legal stuff. Like, who are you kidding? Tyler.
I can only tell you my perspective.
Listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I understand.
And you need a reality check. If this is on media news, like news talk shows, they're going to be seeing you, they're going to be interested in you. You have to understand that I'm aware, whether you want to admit it or not, you want the attention.
I don't want the attention.
There is absolutely no way in hell that you are not bipolar or have an extreme issue if you don't realize what you're doing is false advertisement and there are real legal ramifications. I don't know how you honestly are not worried about being put in jail.
I will have to leave at this moment.
Since you're leaving in an uncomfortable way, I want the keys to my house.
Yeah, they're right there.
And the storage.
Right there.
Nobody else has keys, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. No one else has keys.
Tyler, genuinely, if you've been here, genuinely to help, I appreciate it. The lies are a lot. And especially if you are genuine and trying to help in your own way, you should be very concerned if they recognize you, because anyone else, like running for district, it doesn't add up. I'm not threatening you, but I'm saying, like, I'm not threatening you at all. I'm trying to help as a friend because I feel like it has to be bipolar or something. Like, I don't think you're grasping the level of online things that don't make sense.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but at this moment I would like to leave. And I'm more than receptive if you want to call or text me.
How do I send you the money of the receipts?
I'm not concerned about any of that. But I'm still very receptive. Should you want to call me or text me, but I've done nothing intentionally to be deceitful.
Okay, so now let's listen to it again. And now I'm going to make commentary along the way. I wanted us to listen to it through those last 3 minutes before we left. Okay, once and all the way through. So we did that. Now I'd like to offer some commentary. So here we go.
And I can't trust you when you're lying. You're flat out lying. You're a really good liar. Like, Tyler. Tyler.
I'm definitely not
Tyler,
trying to deceive.
Okay, so firstly, I don't know what she thinks he's lying about, but he said in his statement, we looked at his statements previously, right? So check out the playlist, because there's one of the thumbnails says, threaten a man with a box cutter. There we looked at his statements on Facebook. He's since deactivated his accounts, right? But if you go look there, I had shared what he had said on his own Facebook page. just so that we could understand that context at the time, and especially now. I went back to look again. I'm like, wait, what did he say back then? Okay, so already here with her saying, you're lying, you're really, really good liar. I find her extremely manipulative. That's the vibe I'm getting. She sounds to me, and I'm so sorry to compare her to this person, but like it's reminding me of Gannon Stauch's case, right? Letitia Stauch. With the way she's talking and the way she's trying to threaten him and manipulate him. I mean verbally, not like his safety in the moment, but just making all these perceived threats, saying like, ooh, if the media catches on to this, if they recognize you. Okay, so firstly, she says, you're a really good liar, okay?
Be quiet and listen, please look at me. Like,
That, be quiet and listen, please look at me. She can be quite authoritative. Do you know what I mean? She said, like, I'm an intelligent woman. Right?
I'm an intelligent woman. I'm 40 years old.
Your age does not make you intelligent or not. It doesn't give you automatic wisdom. I'm just saying that. Just a disclaimer, because she's like, I'm an intelligent woman, I'm 40 years old. I'm sure she is intelligent. She seems extremely calculated to me. I've said that from the first day, right? She seems incredibly coordinated and calculated and all of that, and I worry about that. It comes off as a little bit eerie in the context of where's Melodee?
You deal with legal stuff. Like, who are you kidding? Tyler.
I can only give you my perspective.
Listen, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I understand.
And you need a reality check. If this is on media news, like news talk shows, they're going to be seeing you, they're going to be interested in you. You have to understand that I'm aware, whether you want to admit it or not, you want the attention.
I don't want the attention.
But what does that mean? It almost sounds like they're working together at that point with what she's saying. If the media, catches wind of this, if they see you doing this, ooh, they're going to be interested in you. And I know you want the attention. He says, I don't want the attention. She doesn't want it either, But she sure got it. That's where I would say she needs a reality check. Like, the whole world is watching you, ma'am. Where's your daughter? Tell somebody you trust. I don't know. She clearly doesn't trust anybody. But where's your daughter?
There is absolutely no way in hell that you are not bipolar or have an extreme issue if you don't realize what you're doing is false advertisement. And there are real legal ramifications. I don't know how you honestly are not worried about being put in jail.
What do you think she means by that? Because I think that's her fear talking. That she thinks he's there in some sort of sting operation, that he's there to gather information so that Melodee can be placed in the custody of her father's side of the family. That's my speculation. Because what does she mean, this is false advertisement, what you're doing? Because he said that he was accused of working with the police. I think he could have been working with the police. So unfortunately, for someone who possibly struggles with paranoia, he himself said that she struggles with paranoia. Okay, well, the problem is now you fed into it. Do you know what I mean? If you were working with the police, crap, because she was onto you. She recorded you. She said there are legal ramifications for this. Can't just be under false advertisement. You deal with legal stuff. I think she means custody. I think she means you can't take Melodee from me, okay? But again, where is Melodee?
I will have to leave at this moment.
Since you're leaving in an uncomfortable way, I want the keys to my house
Yeah, they're right there.
and the storage.
Why does he have those keys? If this is the 5th day that he's there, okay, why does she say, since you're leaving in an uncomfortable way, I want the keys to my house and storage? Again, it sounds like they're working together. Oh, my brain is going down rabbit holes, I'm telling you now. I really want your thoughts on this. Please, please share your thoughts. What do you think is going on here? Because I don't know. It's confusing as hell, okay? So I'm not here making commentary pretending to know that I know what's going on here. I'm here to speculate with you of like, what in the hell is going on here? Why would he have keys to a house and storage? Did the police give it to him? I don't know, to give back to her after executing search warrants on her home and the storage unit? I don't know.
Right there.
Nobody else has keys, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. No one else has keys.
Tyler?
And if he's known her since 2014 and this is a friend, why are you saying yes, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Nobody else has the keys. It's weird.
Genuinely, if you've been here, genuinely to help, I appreciate it. The lies.
To help with what? If you've been here genuinely to help, I appreciate it. Help with what? You're not helping to find your daughter. So she's either no longer with us or you've put her somewhere where you don't want her to be found. Nobody, well, I don't know. There's many possibilities. I guess somebody could have taken her from Ashlee on the road trip, but then she would have reported her missing, which she did not. She's been deceptive this whole time. From her appearance to the license plates, which she's not allowed to legally do. Okay, why was she not afraid of being put in jail for all the things she did? And she was in jail for 5 days, and now the charges have been dropped. But okay. It just, oh man, it just makes, it makes no sense. If you're genuinely here to try to help with what? You're tearing down missing person flyers of your own daughter. You are not cooperating with the police. You are not helping anybody get answers. Not the public, not the police, not Tyler, not any family, nobody. So what would he be helping with?
Genuinely to help, I appreciate it. The lies are a lot. And especially if you are genuine and trying to help in your own way, you should be very concerned if they recognize you, because anyone else, like running for district.
Who? You should be very concerned if they recognize you. Who's they? Who? The media? Melodee's father's side of the family? The police? The FBI? Somebody in a paranoid mind?
It doesn't add up. I'm not threatening you, but I'm saying, like, I'm not threatening you at all. I'm trying to help as a friend because I feel like it has to be bipolar or something.
See that? I think that's manipulative. I think it's a little bit narcissistic. To in that moment be like, I'm not threatening you. I mean, you're running for district and all that, which he isn't anymore. He withdrew. But if you're running for district, yeah, things don't add up. What's not adding up? Who's they if they recognize you? He's a public figure. You know what I mean? Okay, so if they recognize you, all right. And then you say after that, you're actually trying to help as a friend because
I feel like it has to be bipolar or
because I feel like it has to be bipolar or something. I mean, but you're diagnosed with that, lady, and that's okay. But why are you making that's a bad thing for him? Like, she is detached even from herself. Like, I feel like you must have bipolar or something because things don't add up. That's so weird coming from someone who's been diagnosed with exactly that. Do you know what I mean?
something. Like, I don't think you're grasping the level of online things
That I don't think you're grasping the level of online things that don't make sense. What do you mean by online things? Reality doesn't make sense. Forget online things. Reality makes no sense. Her renting a car and going on a trip from Lompoc, California, all the way to friggin' Nebraska, passing through Kansas, there's no place like home, and back. Melodee not seen since October 9th. You return home alone with a California license plate back on. You pull the car into the garage apparently, rent another vehicle, ruin the vehicle, don't know what you crashed into, but we know that Ashlee's family said that she's intentionally crashed before with Melodee in the car. She's lost custody of another daughter before. She has known mental health problems. This is a huge red flag. And then you come back with this damaged car, you moving thing, I don't know. And then you return these cars, and then from then on, the rental agencies no longer want you to rent any cars from them. Whether that's financial, or because you damage cars, or because you're part of a high-profile missing persons case, which is a missing child, at-risk missing child. is what the FBI says, due to her age and circumstances. And she says online things that don't make sense. No, forget online. Reality. What you did makes no sense. Your demeanor in the courtroom, it makes no sense. Dressing up to this level and all the makeup and everything, her behavior, everything. I think she's worried about her image. I think she's worried about everything that she wants, but we all want to know if Melodee's okay. What about Melodee? What about what she has the right to, which is friends, family, education, a safe home, being isolated from everyone, being made to wear the hoodie over her head every time she steps out of the house, according to a neighbor, for a while already. What? Her last known educational activity with the homeschool was in October 2024. What? She's only 9 years old. She's a child. She deserves the very best. Where's Melodee? So it actually kind of pisses me off.
Don't make sense.
No, I understand where you're coming from, that at this moment I will have to leave. And I'm more than receptive if you want to call or text me.
How do I send you the money with the receipts?
I'm not concerned about any of that.
What money? How do I send you money with the receipts? She always makes it sound like they're working together, her and Tyler. And then he was going to run for, I'll read it. Hold on. I've got a presentation here for you. Hold on. Let's go over what he was going to do. Just for a moment here. Okay, there. Politically, he briefly announced a candidacy for San Luis Obispo County District 4 supervisor in September of 2025, but then he withdrew later that month due to plans to move out of the district. What does that mean? Move out where? Where you going, bro? The timing of that is interesting too. Got to keep an open mind in these situations, right? Because I'm just looking at all of this, trying to keep a very open mind of what in the hell is going on here.
But I'm still very receptive. Should you want to call me or text me, but I've done nothing intentionally to be deceitful.
I've done nothing intentionally to be deceitful. But have you done anything unintentionally to be deceitful? I don't know. Did the police ask you to a little bit? Did they ask you to go in there and ask certain things? Are they listening right now? When you're there and now he's like, I have to leave. Why? Are you afraid of what they'll hear? What do you mean by money and receipts? Oh my goodness, I have so many questions. Lots of mumbling. Do I trust him? No. Do I trust her? Absolutely not. I'm not going to throw him under the bus just yet. I'm still just thinking, what if he did try to help? What if she was unhinged? What if she's just talking all sorts of nonsense? I don't know. But holy crap, where's Melodee, right? Okay, so I still have one or two things that I want to show you. Firstly, this is how she appeared in court after she had been in jail, so she didn't have access to the wigs and the makeup and things that she's used to wearing. But my goodness, did she come back being like, I will never look like that again. Here I am, all dressed up and literally nowhere to go. Okay, charges dismissed. That's got nothing to do with anything. I'm just saying that's her, okay? If you didn't know, if you see pictures of her like this, that's her. That's still her. Okay? So that's number one. Secondly, I want to tell you that the grandmother, Melodee's paternal grandmother, as I told you, has been saying that she was actually fighting for custody of Melodee. So she says the following. In an interview with Fox News Digital, Melodee's paternal grandmother, Lily Dennis, said that social services contacted her while Ashlee was in a mental hospital and asked if she would take in Melodee to avoid foster care. Okay, Dennis did and started the adoption process, but said that in 2021, Ashlee took her away from us after picking her up from school following her release from the mental hospital. We were so happy when social services called us and told us that they were going to place the baby with us. We were so happy, she said. That lady is mentally ill, bad. Since then, the grandmother said she hasn't been allowed to see Melodee, adding that Ashlee cut the girl off from the entire world. Dennis said Ashlee cut off Melodee from her entire family.
They let her go. And they didn't even write anything about the baby missing on that was that prosecutor? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm really mad. Honest to God, I don't understand the law. She's been like this all her life. She has a record being in the Looney Hospital in Camarillo twice. What are they doing? I knew that she was an old lady. I knew ever since the first time I met her. I knew something was wrong with her.
The grandmother said she got a weird feeling about Ashlee from the second they met. She said, when I met her, my son brought her to the house. She looked so quiet and she was following me with her eyes back and forth and told my son, "Son, is this girl okay? She doesn't look like she's normal," Dennis said. "Something's wrong with this lady." She described Melodee as a very happy baby, always smiling, very smart. "I know that maybe somebody out there in the world knows where my baby is. Somebody has to know," Dennis said.
Family members' hope now depends on finding Melodee.
Please tell us where the baby's at. Is she okay? Where is she?
According to authorities, as we know, Ashlee left California with her 9-year-old daughter on October 7th, traveled as far as Nebraska in a Chevy Malibu bearing California license plates with a return trip including Kansas, even though they didn't put that on the map, which is so weird. Why'd you not put that on the map, law enforcement? They showed us a map. I've mapped it out over here for us, which we've looked at in almost every episode. I think every episode of this case, right? So go and check out the previous ones. I won't go into too much detail now. But, oh my word, you did this trip? Ashlee Buzzard, you did this trip. Why? Stop it. Stop zooming in. Google, listen here, Uncle Google. I'm telling you now, we want to see the whole picture, all right? You did this trip. Please do tell for what reason. And now these multiple PIs are starting to say, well, it looks like she took other trips before. That she might have gone to, actually I can't remember, they said Iowa. She might have taken trips like this before. Why? It's weird. Was she planning things? Was she trying things? Was she practicing until now? I don't know. But this is weird, right? Okay, so I could go on and on. Honestly, there's so many things I could talk about. There's so many red flags. In fact, let me just bring up my little presentation and just focus on the following. Number one, Melodee is 9 years old. She was last seen October 9th of 2025. She's approximately 4 feet 6 inches tall, 75 pounds, some reports say 60 pounds, with long curly brown hair and brown eyes. And she's considered at risk due to her age and circumstances. And the focus is, where's Melodee? Let's find Melodee. Right, and just know that she's okay. If she is okay, great. But if she isn't, there's a high chance of her not being okay because of her mother's track record and mental health struggles and everything that everybody who's ever known her says. And that she's lost custody before. And she's intentionally tried to harm Melodee before. Okay, so quickly, red flag recap. Ashlee Buzzard has known mental health challenges since a young age and has lost custody of Melodee before. Ashlee had a traumatic episode at age 9 herself. She was on the run with her mom. They were running from an alleged abusive father. And so is this a trigger for her? Is this a psychological trigger for her that Melodee, her own daughter, is now 9? Did she lose her other daughter, Destiny, when Destiny was 9? I don't know. But she lost another daughter, custody of another daughter before. And maybe she's like, oh, hell no, this is not happening again. Yeah, but what does that mean? What are you going to do for it to not happen again? Because there's a lot of options there. Now, her partner died in a motorcycle crash in 2016, and Ashlee's mental health and financial well-being have deteriorated since then. She is in a lot of debt, and she's been living off Social Security and the benefits that Melodee receives from her father being deceased. So there's a lot of pressure on her. She's a single mom, isolating herself and her daughter from the world, from everybody. She seems to struggle with paranoia based on what people that know her are saying. Now, it does seem like it from her behavior, right? And especially to isolate her to that level. Big red flag, big concerns. So she isolated Melodee from family. But why? Just because, let's say, and it's not a small issue to say just because of custody. That's not a small issue. She doesn't want to lose Melodee. I get that. But maybe sometimes letting her go could be the best for Melodee. What's the best for Melodee? Not the best for Ashlee. Do you know what I mean? To me, the whole time, this all looks like what's best for Ashlee. I'm concerned about what's best for Melodee. Surely Melodee should have grannies and grandpas and aunties and uncles and cousins and, friends. Allegedly, one of the neighbors there, Ashlee's neighbors, said that they had offered to set up play dates with Melodee and her son. And Ashlee said, no. Melodee does not get along with other children and she's autistic. Like, what? So you really, really want to isolate her from everybody. I don't think that's fair on a child. I would say that goes into the neglect category and child abuse, in my opinion. Denying her education, child abuse, in my opinion. Making her wear wigs and a hoodie over her head and also fearing, I think it's child abuse, in my opinion, and I'm very concerned about all that. So one could look at her legal rights, and then one can also look at, but how many times does that actually fail children? Even if we think of CPS, if we think of cases just like this, if we think of charges being dismissed before, there's so many cases. And then the children suffer. So where's Melodee? So she's got known financial trouble living off Social Security and benefits that Melodee receives, and she's been homeschooling Melodee, but not legally. She had this last confirmed educational activity in October of 2024, and she re-enrolled Melodee in August of 2025, but then never actually picked up any of the projects that she was supposed to do, anything. And it was the school administrator that actually alerted the authorities that there should be a welfare check on Melodee because they haven't heard from her. And that's what started this entire thing, right? So if I just quickly go to our little timeline here, there. August 2025, Ashlee re-enrolls Melodee from homeschooling. October 7th of 2025, takes a road trip from Lompoc, California, as far as Nebraska, including Kansas. October 9th, Melodee seen on surveillance video near the Colorado-Utah border with Ashlee. Then there's some purple wig lady with Ashlee in Utah, no Melodee, allegedly according to an eyewitness. We don't know, we have no confirmation that was actually Ashlee, but the person says she saw a white vehicle with California plates, and there was a woman with purple hair in the vehicle with Ashlee. So October 10th of 2025, Ashlee returns home without Melodee. October 14th, the Lompoc Unified School District Administrator reports Melodee's extended absence after failed truancy follow-ups. And then deputies visit the home. She provides no explanation for Melodee's whereabouts to this day. And so Melodee was officially reported missing. And then the FBI got on the case. And they're like, where the heck is Melodee? And everybody's looking for her. If you have seen something and haven't yet said something, if you haven't yet checked your dash cam, ring cam, surveillance footage, anything like that, along that route that we've looked at many times before, I've also shared the FBI's link and the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office link, so you can check those out with the official flyers to share. The latest information that they have shared, which we're up to date on that. Especially if you check out the playlist, right? We're up to date on everything they posted. But yes, if you find anything, please say something. If you know something, please say something. If there's any interaction you've had with Ashlee Buzzard and you have a hunch of what went, just call the police. You never know, it could really help the case, right? My goodness. So we've looked at all of this before. There's a lot that we've done in this presentation before, right? So check out the previous episodes. We looked, for example, in the past at who is Tyler, what did he say happened on that day, his statement on Facebook, we looked at that in the previous video as well, and just, I added this now, November 20th, there was this preliminary hearing, and we've gone over that, right? So Ashlee no longer has to wear an ankle monitor or anything. She's free to go. At the end of the day, I really hope that Melodee will be found. I really hope that she's safe, that she's somewhere. The best case scenario is, oh, okay, she's just with a friend or extended family or someone somewhere along that route. But still, she'd have to be signed up for schooling or something, right? So even if she's in a private community or whatever, I just hope that she's okay. But I'm exceptionally worried that she's not, that this case is going to turn out to be a much worse investigation. Anyway, I look forward to reading your comments. Please let me know what you think about all of this, especially with all these updates. What do you think of the judge's decision? What do you think of the recording? I mean, that was pretty interesting, right? What do you think of what Tyler said? Do you think there was any truth in what he said? Do you think he could have actually been afraid, but there's not enough evidence to prove that? Perhaps. Anyway, okay, I'll keep you posted. Make sure you check out the playlist, subscribe, put the notifications on so that you don't miss uploads like this. And I will see you in the next one. Stay safe.